In here getting my last ultrasound. We couldn't get a picture of her because she's in the perfect position for labor, but they had to turn the fan on because while she was doing it, I started getting all spotty and lightheaded and like I was gonna faint right there on the table. She also brought me water. Not fun. Now I am pantsless to do the GBS swab. Look at the trees. I like how serene the rooms are here. This boy whined himself to sleep all night because I told him that it's getting close to the baby being here, and we do, like, they've been told from the get-go we don't get to keep her. And he's like, well, I don't want it to be close. And I said, well, I understand that, and it's fine to be upset by it. And he's like, I don't want her to be gone. I was like, I get that, baby, but don't you want her to be with her mom? Like, don't you want her to be with her mommy? And he goes, no. Baby, I'm sorry. She's got to go be with her mommy. So he's very upset with me now. So we're snuggling. And the fan is like bothering me. So I stole this whole blanket just to shove onto my face. But he likes the sound of fans and stuff at nighttime, so that's where we're at. But yeah, he was a real sad boy. It's just his big heart. That's all it was. He's just got such a big heart. I look a mess. You're welcome. But yeah, I figured it was timely time to finish the second half of this video. Especially because I had to change around my entire schedule for everything, because one of the videos that I had that was supposed to come before the first half of this video, the saved file, which was the only version that I had of it, just completely vanished. Don't know what happened to it, so I'm not going to remake that video at all. So I was like, I'll just take the time to put this video together before I forget about it or before more things mess up, and yeah. So this is a long, more rambling style video. Sorry in advance about that. I always feel bad when I make videos like this, but the third trimester video that I made, that you guys saw last week, obviously, I wasn't able to finish it. I wasn't able to get everything in it. There was just, it was no longer saving because of how much I had in my gallery and how big of a file it was with what I already had in it. So this is officially part 2, which is mostly just me talking. I used the last little bit of clips of stuff, at the beginning. But yeah, I wanted to talk about everything more in depth, because it feels very surreal that we're already coming to an end. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's crazy to think about how soon this is all just gonna be over. And it feels like I literally started this yesterday. And I mean, the sickness has been rough. Like, this elbow, you can't really tell on camera, but like, it's horribly purple in there from the amount of times that I've gotten IV in there. This one's starting to purple up because of the amount of times that I've had to get IVs in that one too. Which is unfortunate. I'm like, between IV fluids and potassium and iron, and it's like, basically everything has had to be put back into my body. And like, I'm also huge. I'll show off my bump for a minute. Because like, I'm huge. I'm measuring basically at 40 weeks. Like, I still have some time to go, but they're pretty sure she's going to come early. So I had to make sure that I got last week's video and this week's video out before she came. Because I want to film bits of the birth and labor and stuff. Okay, not like the birth. Okay, that's going to be a completely private moment with no cameras. But like, just like the after and the laboring, etc. I want to film all of that, so I gotta make sure that I have the space to do so, especially because this is a busy month. I've had a lot of other things that I've been filming. You guys have already seen some of the stuff that I released earlier before, doing this series and discussing everything with this series, but like, prime example, I have a lot of homeschool stuff that I have to do. So there's just a lot. There's a lot happening. But yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. It really does move so much faster. And I think a huge chunk of why it moved faster is because I was so impatient for the boys, but I was also in a very abusive relationship, so I didn't get to fully enjoy my pregnancies. And like, I know most people would be like, okay, but like, the side effects kind of suck. Like, how could you enjoy any of that? But like, it's been so enjoyable still. Like, the morning sickness sucks. That sucks. The fainting sucks. The IVs suck. But ultimately, this has been such an incredible experience. And I really have enjoyed it. I'm like, I would do this again in a heartbeat. Like, I already told the agency, like, once my body's healed, sign me up again. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Like, I've loved this process. It's just been incredible. It's been incredible. So, I'm like, I know there's people that have done surrogacy that just don't enjoy it, and they were like, you know what, that was a one-time thing, like, never again. I'm like, I could do this. I could do this a few times and just be so happy. And I mean, my OB and I were talking. We were talking about the fact that, like, it's not surprising that, like, the IVs and everything have been happening, and that it's been a slightly more difficult pregnancy. You never know how your body is going to react. And, like, it's not your egg, it's not your child, it's not genetically related to you. So, your body might recognize that, I don't think it's something that we've, like, done a lot of research into, but I could see that being the case. And it's funny too, because my OB was asking me how I was doing with everything, just like emotionally, because they wanted to make sure that I was good just in general. And I was explaining, like, I've really been loving being able to experience pregnancy without abuse and without all of the negatives that came with the first two pregnancies, right? Like, I feel very blessed to be able to experience it. And like, this OB, they're Christian OB. And by the time that you guys see this, I obviously will not be at the OB anymore. So it is Bella Health and Wellness in Colorado. But they are Christian based. And my OB was like, well, and you are, for all intent and purpose, the mother right now. Like, you are doing everything you can to be healthy for this baby, to keep this baby healthy. You're growing this child. Like, right now, you are acting as a mother. And I was like, yeah, like, there's no denying that is what it is right now, and like, that it's my voice that she's hearing, it's my kids that she's hearing, etc. And I'm sure that will be the most difficult part right at the end of all of this and stuff, and I plan on talking about postpartum when the time comes. Obviously it's not happening now because she is still in there, but I'm like, that is definitely an aspect that I think about sometimes. But my OB said something that I was like, you know what, that's really beautiful. And that was, even though she's going to her biological mom and her biological dad, and she's going to be raised by her family, there is always, that possibility and that opportunity that you can see her again in heaven. And I was like, what a beautiful thought, right? What a beautiful sentiment to hold on to and stuff, to really help in like hard moments that may come, because you never know how you're gonna respond to it until it happens. And like, obviously this is the first time I've ever done a surrogacy, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel postpartum, obviously. And like, I understand logically how I think I should feel and how I assume I'm gonna feel, but the reality is you never know what's gonna happen until it happens. So, I was like, what a beautiful sentiment to have and to hold on to for any difficult moments that may arise. And like I had in the introduction, like, Levi is taking this a little hard. But that's okay, because we do family therapy anyway. So we'll just incorporate processing some of this into our family therapy, and processing getting Elias to understand that I didn't just like get knocked up and sold a baby, because that's how he keeps describing it. Like, yeah, you have a baby, but you're selling it. No, that's not how this is going. That's not what this is. It's very inaccurate, kiddo. I love you, but no. Don't tell people that, because that just sounds terrible. Like, not my kid, not my child, not genetically mine in the slightest. I am just the home for now. But yeah, it's weird. Like, there's been so many, like, oh, congrats, and like, you must be so excited, and then they'll hear it's a girl, and they're like, oh, a daughter. Or like, we went to a funeral, and people were telling my mom, like, because they saw me clearly pregnant, and they're like, so is it a girl or a boy? And my mom will excitedly tell everybody, oh, it's a girl. And then they're like, a granddaughter. Oh, you're gonna be a grandma of 3. And then my mom has to go, well, no, we're not keeping her. She's not ours. We don't have any claim on keeping her. We have no rights to her at all. Like, she's not genetically supposed to even be there at all. Like, that's not the womb that she was supposed to be in. Like, there's no genetic connection. Like, just, And I'm like, it makes it kind of awkward sometimes, especially because, like, there are a few people that have been, like, that have taken notice of it and stuff that we see on occasion that, like, my mom definitely didn't ask anything about it. Like, there was a couple people at that funeral that were just, like, they kept it very casual, didn't really ask about anything. The most they asked was if I was still with my baby daddy, and my mom was like, no. And that was, like, the end of the conversation. And I was like, the next time I see that person, I'm not gonna have a third child. They're gonna be like, what happened? Hi. Hi, how are you? New angle. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to actually say during all of this, because, like, it feels like I need to wrap it up before, like, getting into the very last little bits of it and stuff, because, like, the birth is just going to be, like, an event, and then postpartum is going to be, like, its own little thing, you know? But yeah, I'm like, overall, third trimester has been a lot of fun. She's been preparing for her arrival for, like, weeks on end. Been getting consistent contractions for weeks, like, every 35 minutes and stuff, which is terrible. But, like, it never progresses and it doesn't change, and, like, because we're not at the due date or anything yet, I'm like, I want to wait because I want to make sure the parents were here, right? Trying to think, sorry. But yeah, like, overall, third trimester has been the easiest, which is funny because it was always the most difficult trimester to get through with the boys, like, but again, I was so impatient to meet my boys that, like, of course that was the most difficult part to get through. And, like, especially with Levi, because during that pregnancy it was also the combination of also having to deal with the fact that, like, I could barely walk because of how far, like, down he sat, and then he was also the biggest baby. Like, she's measuring smaller than he was at this stage. So he was my biggest baby. And he sat so far down that, like, I could barely walk. Like, I was waddling real bad with him. And I was, like, the only one responsible for running after the toddler and stuff too. Like, so I was constantly in pain from all of that all the time. But I'm like, yeah. It's been a journey. It's been such a weird journey. I've gotten, like, skinnier in my face, which is a little upsetting. Like, it's not bad, it's just a little upsetting because I visibly see how much the, like, nausea has made me lose weight-wise, because I can see it right in here and, like, just my chin and cheeks and stuff. And, like, it's probably only super noticeable to me, but it is something that I can't help but notice and pay attention to all the time. But I mean, I have such an abundance of support. Like, I've got my family, of course, obviously. But, like, I also have my church, which has just been, like, they've all been so incredible and so amazing. And the boys have been such big helps. Like, Elias really loves to help out a lot, specifically. Like, he prime example, like, I'm big enough to the point now where, like, if I'm laying in a bath, it's really hard for me to, like, get up and get out. And he'll come in and be like, are you done yet? And I'll be like, I am actively trying to get out. And he'll hold his little hands out and be like, here, Mom, I got you, let me help. And I'm like, dude, I don't think you realize how heavy I am. Like, kid, I love you. You're so cute. You are so adorable. If I look like I'm a little woozy and stuff, he'll pat down on his seat. Mommy, sit. You're so cute. And Levi, he's always like, I have something to give the baby. And I'm like, what do you have to give the baby? And he'll just come up and like kiss my tummy. And he'll be like, hello, baby. Good morning, baby. Good night, baby. I'm like, you're so cute. No wonder you're going to be so heartbroken because you're like taking the time to love the baby. But, you know, at the same time, I don't want to like tell them they're not allowed to love the baby while she's inside me. Like, because ultimately the parents even stated that they hope that she's being loved throughout this pregnancy, which, like, totally understandable, right? That makes sense. You would want the person carrying your kid to have some kind of love for them and for the family to also have some kind of love for them, because that's going to result in, you know, better care in most situations and stuff. And I'm like, they're going to have such a hard time processing this. Thankfully, we have therapist already, so it's fine. We have one. It's good. She's ready. She's been right there with us this entire time. So, you know, we'll get through this. But yeah, I think those are the biggest things that I could really talk about and share and put a lot of stress and emphasis on as I sit here filming while waiting for my mother to get home with a bag of ice, because I need ice. You know, just pregnancy things, right? Our fridge is too slow at making ice, and it doesn't make the best ice anyway. It makes ice that's difficult to chew on. So, she's being nice enough to go get fun ice. But yeah, I think that's everything that I could talk about. And the next video is gonna be the birth. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. Oh my goodness. Yeah, next video is gonna be the birth, which will be fun and exciting. Obviously, I'm gonna keep specific details about it private because I want, like, her birthday and stuff to be anonymous. It's all ending. It's all ending. I'm not ready for it to end. Ugh. Why does pregnancy go so fast when it's not your child? How frustrating. And I have no idea if the parents are going to be out here in plenty of time. Like, that's kind of stressing me out, not going to lie. Because, like, she's getting ready to come, and they're not due out here for, like, a week. So, that's yeah. Stress. Anyway, see y'all next week. Bye. So, next day, but that's where I'm at full term.